Hi everyone, so I have decided to go ahead and do a video. This one's going to be pretty simple on how to do quilt as you go. And so I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you what you're going to need in order to get this project done. I'm going to show you how to put it all together. This will be different blocks every week, so you can kind of go at your own pace with this. And so let's get started. I'm going to show you everything that you're going to need here. So. All right. I got to figure out how to flip my phone. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need a rotary cutter, a cutting mat so that you can cut your fabric on it, a pair of scissors, a seam ripper just in case you need it, one jelly roll. You're going to also need some batting, which I am going to use some fleece that I have left over from other projects. So that's what I'm using. You can use it also, or you can use batting. I have my 10-inch squares for my back fabric cut out. So you're going to want to have backing cut out in advance. So these are going to be 10-inch squares that we're going to make. So as you can see, I've already got my backing fabric on my my fleece batting that I'm going to use. And then all I'm going to do is flip this over, because now we're going to start sewing strips onto this foundation piece, and then it will be quilted. And after you're done quilting it, we can also go back through and add more stitching to it if you'd like. So I think we just probably need to get started. I'm going to step over here real quick. You're also going to need an iron and an ironing board, and of course a okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got my sewing machine set up. You're looking at it from a different angle here, but I think you'll get the basic idea. So I've gone ahead and I've threaded my machine with this cream colored fabric, so hopefully you'll be able to see it when I start sewing the strips on. And there is no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just going to start picking strips and I'm going to start sewing them. And I kind of do things a little differently. I mean, this isn't planned, as you can see. This is just me winging it, because this is how I do pretty much everything. So I'm going to pull out some of this polka dot, and I'm going to pull out almost this cute little, I don't know, half chevron type of fabric. And I'm just going to move these over to the side, the ones I'm not using. There's this one. And then there's this one. The cool thing about jelly rolls is that that comes with coordinating fabric. I actually think that's probably going to be enough. If not, I'll pull out some more, a different pattern. Since we're going to do 10-inch, I'm going to measure this kind of a little bit. I'm just going to cut these in half, just right up here at the fold. I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I think I'll do the polka dots in the center. This one, I think I'll make my centerpiece. Okay. I do have a 1/4-inch foot on my machine. I'm using a different one, but sorry, this is a little different for me here. Where am I going? Gosh darn it. 1/4-inch foot. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with my dark piece. I'm going to butt it up to my other piece that I just cut. Now remember, I do have my backing already on with my fleece batting in the middle. Okay, and it's really not batting, it's just fleece, like I stated before. So I'm just going to use up some of the old scraps that I've done before and try and show you how to do this. So I'm just going to take this piece and I'm going to lay it right side down on top, right in the center of my block, right in the center of it. Okay, so just if you can figure out where your beginning point is, so from point to point I'm just laying it on there, okay, diagonal, like such. Alright, and I'm going to smooth it out. It'll smooth out even when I start sewing it, so I'm not real worried about it. The hardest part is getting the first one down. Then I'm going to take my second piece, my different colored piece, okay, and I'm going to lay that right side down to my piece that I already have. I'm sorry, I told you how to do this wrong. Your center piece should be right side up. See? Told you. Just winging it here. Right side up. On the diagonal. I kind of use my sewing table here to straighten this out so I don't have puckers and stuff like that going on in my fabric. It's because I'm working in a wonky area here. Alright, now this piece goes straight on top of that. So nice sides together. So right sides together. You want to butt up the raw edge to the right. Can you see what I'm doing here? These two edges. Right sides together. See that? Okay. So those are together. And I am going to start stitching right down this line right here. 1/4 inch. And I'm going to lay it down first, okay? We're going to lay down our first seam. So let's get started here. Take a couple little stitches. And I'm just going to start sewing down the right side of my strips. 1/4 inch. I'm going to smooth it out as I get down further because I don't want, you know, a lot of puckering. It can pucker on you, especially when you're using fleece. But it can be done. And I'm going to prove it. So. The nice thing about fleece is that it stretches. So you can stretch it out to make it flat if you need to. Just a little trick I've learned over the years. And we have our first set. So, see? First set is down. I'm going to go press this out at the iron, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone and I've pressed, and now this is what we have. Okay, that's our front, and this is what it looks like on the back. See the stitching? So I'm using this white thread so you can kind of see it. But that's what we have so far. Now I'm going to take another piece of our strip and I'm going to start on the opposite side and sew down. So I just put down this side right here. Now I'm going to come over here and put another piece of stripping down on the opposite side. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You can do this however you want to. You can do your strips all the way on one side first and then all the way on the other side. I just prefer to kind of shake it up because I get kind of bored real easily. So do however it works for you. You know, it's like I say, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this. Just want to help you so that you understand how just to do a strip quilt, doing quilt as you go. sew down that other strip now. Matching up my edges. Sometimes they don't always line up. I do not cut my strips if I get them from a jelly roll first. I just roll with it and I just make it work. If you prefer to cut them and make sure that they're exact, that's fine too. You can do that. Okay, so now we have this sewn on. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go press it out. Okay, we're ready to sew on a shorter piece. I just went ahead and cut this one a little bit shorter. Okay, and that is going to go right here. As you can see, it's like this is too close. Let me try and back this up just a tad. Apologize for that. I'm kind of new at this video thing and I'm doing it by myself for the first time, so thank you for being patient with me. So you can see what we've done so far. Now we're at this end on this side, so I cut this shorter piece here, alright, and that's what's going to go here. So I'm going to flip it down, right sides together, and smooth that out first, and then I'm going to start. Okay, look up at the sewing machine. My needle. I always put my needle in the down position, so if you have that capability on your machine, I highly recommend it, because if you have to stop for any reason, you don't want your fabric moving. You also want to make sure that your backing is not puckering on the back side, okay? It can happen, so you want to be mindful of that. Okay, another piece sewn on. This is what it looks like on the back, so we've already got the quilting going on the back. So technically, once we have all this sewn down, you won't need to do anything. But now I'm going to go and I'm going to press this open, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, same thing. Just cut another strip here. It's this one. Now I'm going to put it nice side down on top of the other one, on the opposite side of how we were working before. Because remember, we're just attaching the strips. And I'm just going to start sewing that on. You'll sew them on wrong sides once or twice, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. I've done that so many times. As you saw when I first started, I almost did that. So, it happens to all of us. Don't be discouraged. I should also mention, you don't need a jelly roll strip for this. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes and to make life a little easier for myself. But technically, you could cut 2.5-inch squares out of any kind of scrap fabric that, I'm sorry, 2.5-inch strips out of any fabric that you have just lying around that you want to use up. You could do that, and that would definitely work as well. I find jelly roll strips or jelly rolls are just easier for strip quilts. They just seem to go together a lot faster. You can do all kinds of designs with them. It's crazy, but you can do that with anything that you have in your stash too. So it's not just, you know, you have to rush out and buy anything. You don't need to. So I'm going to go and I'm going to press this out, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish the other edges so that this video isn't like super long, and then I will come back and we will talk about quilting the block. Okay, so I have all of my pieces sewn on, and this is what we have right here. This beautiful cameraman, so I'm apologizing in advance here. So here's my 10-inch square. You don't need a 10-inch square, but it'll help make your life easier when you go to measure out your block. So mine is actually off. So it is not going to be a 10-inch block. Because when you sew, sometimes it shrinks. Hang on a second. Maybe I'm just not looking at this correctly. I think that's probably more like it. Yep, that's more like it. I'm not looking at it right. So it is 10 inches. It's a 10-inch block. And so what I'm doing is I am lining up on the 10-inch line right here and on this side along where I have my straight edge. You want to make sure you get that part pretty right, because you don't want your squares to be different sizes. So now I'm ready to cut. So 10 inches, that's what my block is. Okay. Now I'm just going to flip it around like this, so that I have my nice straight edge. Hey, by the way, my cutting board is warped. I need to get a new cutting board. So it can make cutting a little tricky for me, because I have to find the flat side, and then I'm trying to show you how to do this, and it's crazy. But I hope that you're learning, and I hope that my instructions are making sense here. So I'm lined up. I'm perfectly at 10 inches here. So I'm just gonna. Well, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to cut again because I didn't cut right. So there is that, and now we're going to look and see what we have. So here's our back. Okay, perfectly quilted, and here's our front. It's beautiful. Yay! So this is our 10-inch square. So go ahead and make this. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment, and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. And happy quilting. See you.